I'm ready.
All right. Let's see. And here we are, everybody. It is Monday, October 11th. This is your new favorite sports podcast, H&J Talk Sports, the number one podcast for all things Steelers, West Virginia, Penguins, and whatever else we want to talk about. Hey, the Steelers won this week. West Virginia broke our heart. Here we go.
Here we go.
The Steelers will never be last in the league and running again.
It's a good time to get hot.
Holy crap, guys. That's pretty cool.
And a Rabu.
Najee Harris, running back, first round. I think the Steelers will target him. And welcome back, everybody. I'm Joe. That's Harry. We're the hosts of this podcast. Harry, what's going on today, man?
Not much, man. Another week down in the season. Another loss for West Virginia.
Another loss for West Virginia. Steelers won, and hey, they showed some improvement. West Virginia showed anything but improvement. So let's start with the win today. West Virginia fans, stick around because we got a lot to say about that whatever you call that. I can't call it a game, crapshoot. But hey, if it's your first time here, we appreciate you tuning in. Why don't you subscribe, hit the notification bell? We have new podcasts every Monday, new videos all week. And if you're returning to the show, if you're one of our favorite people who are commenting on the videos every week, welcome back, guys. We appreciate you. And, if you like the podcast, share it, pump us up. We're trying to get to 200 here. We're very close. We got to get to 500 by Christmas. But anyways, Steelers won, Harry. I know it was Denver, but they look pretty good today. Offense looked good.
So we're starting with the Steelers, huh?
We're starting with the Steelers. Let's start with a win. And then I'll slowly get depressed as the show goes on.
Yeah, they won. I mean, it's good. It prevents, super panic mode, but I don't consider it a great win. And the way they finished the game isn't a great way to finish the game either. So
the way they finished was troubling.
Yeah.
It's funny, too, because the beginning of the game, I tweeted out, this is the Steelers defense we haven't seen since week 1 of the season. Shut down. The second I tweeted that, they collapsed. They gave up 2 touchdown drives. They looked terrible. Devin Bush got hurt, and then they looked terrible after that. So, boy, when Bush is out, it's a different defense.
Well, I mean, this team is very fragile. I mean, exactly.
They are very fragile.
Injuries, it's key players on the defense. And
a groin. It was a groin injury, so there's that.
Yeah.
Steelers still aren't stretching, apparently.
Yeah, this team has been plagued with the groin injuries.
But up until that point, it looked good. The big concern with the Steelers was the offense, and the offense looked good today. Najee had his first 100-yard rushing game. He looked good. He's been good all week. He's been our best player. He got hurt at the end of the game, so that's a little concerning. You don't want to see – especially we saw a lot of Kalen Ballage today, finally, who I've been asking for. He struggled as much as Benny Snell has. Benny Snell looked bad again. So if Najee misses any significant time, we're in trouble. Chase looked good. He had a huge game. Ben was solid. But like you said, it's the Broncos. So we got to keep everything in perspective here.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I think they needed a game at home against a lighter team that kind of helped.
Big win for the line. Big win for the line, I think. That was the big change of the offense today. The line looked solid.
Yeah.
But a lot of that, and here's what I want to talk about, was the offensive play calling. It looked new. It didn't look like Randy Fichtner's offense today, Harry.
Oh, that's good. We need that.
I don't know if Matt
Canada.
Canada.
Problem. I think he knows that his job's could be on the line. I mean,
it would be. I will say at the start of the broadcast before the game started today, and I've never heard this happen before, I don't think. The Fox announcers called out the play calling as being horrible for the Steelers. So everybody knows. But today, he's been doing what he said he was going to do. We ran the ball more. But going into today's game, the Steelers we're only running the ball like 20% of the time, which is one of the lowest in the NFL, which they said they were never going to do again. But today it looked like a running offense with some great play calling.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can keep building on this.
Yeah.
And next week they play the Seahawks, which I think is one of the worst run defenses in the league. So hopefully that's a recipe for
a Russell Wilson-less Seahawks.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Now, Geno looked great when he came into the game the other day. And West Virginia Twitter especially was praising him and talking about how he should still be a starter.
Man,
we'll see.
I'll take my game against Geno any day over playing Russell Wilson.
Over Russell Wilson? Yes, I will. Now, Twitter gets confused sometimes. Twitter is very in the moment. They kind of forget yesterday if something's good today.
You got to win this game. You got to win this game.
You do. And then you got a bye week. People rest up. Some concerns coming out of today's game. Juju, obviously, he looked really hurt. He went to the hospital after the game to get checked out. He might have broke his arm. That thing looked pretty limp.
That sucks, especially in a contract year like this.
Yeah, I mean, it looked bad. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. Najee didn't finish the game. He hurt something, probably a groin. Bush is out with a groin injury. So hopefully these guys get back and we get healthy before next game.
Yeah, injuries may kill any momentum we get. Yeah, unfortunately. It's a long season, but, man, they're starting to pile up.
Yes, sir. But a big game. Chase looked good. Offense looked good. Seahawks next week at Sunday night game. Our first Sunday night game of the year. Ben plays good on Sunday night historically, and it's at home. That's a good sign for that game, I feel like.
Yeah, I would say prior to Russell Wilson's injury, I didn't think we would win that game, but now I think it's a winnable game.
You got to get into Geno's kitchen here. The whole game. You have to put pressure.
Hopefully Bush can come back and play. Hopefully they can get some pressure. Hopefully the offensive line can do their thing.
I think we got to see what we saw today. They had a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Chased him out of the pocket a lot. You got to do that. I mean, with Russell, it doesn't really matter. But I think with Geno, he's the type of quarterback. He can run a little bit, but he's not a mobile quarterback like Russell Wilson. So I think you really got to take advantage of having him in there and make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, Steelers should have success against them. Yeah. I say that we don't know, but we should.
So what do you think, though? What about the Seahawks defense? What do they pose for us?
Well, I mean, they're not it's not like the old Seahawks defenses, the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're one of the weakest run defenses in the league, which is good for us, bodes well. Hopefully Najee's back, and hopefully we can establish the run game, and that should open everything else up on the offense. I think this team is tailor-made for us.
Yeah.
Matchup-wise, and I like our chances in this game. Maybe get a nice little 2-game win streak before we go to Cleveland.
Yep. Big game. And then we got a bye week, and then we got Cleveland. So Sunday night at home, like you said, defense. They don't have a great defense this year. Geno Smith's in. I know everyone loves Geno Smith. He's a great backup QB, but it's not Russell Wilson. So I think this is a good opportunity with Russell Wilson out for the Steelers to steal a win here that they weren't supposed to have.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think it's a win.
Definitely helps your chances a lot without Russell Wilson.
So you got to score. What do you think score-wise? What are we looking at here? By the way, speaking of score-wise, Steelers offense put up more than 20 points today.
For the first time.
We talked about that last show. Yeah.
I know. It's about time.
27-19, big game.
It's about time. It's sad it took you 5 games. But
the last few years, too, we've seen the Steelers start strong and then fizzle out. Maybe this year's flipped, and it's going to work better. Slow starting, get hot late, ride it into the playoffs. Seahawks, Steelers. Man, I like a shootout here, maybe. Geno Smith, I think he's going to throw. I like maybe, I don't know. Can the Steelers put up 27 again? I like maybe 24-20. 24-20, 26-20, something like that. You got to get 20 points to win. I think they put up more points than the, I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to go with 24-20.
Very well could happen. I think I'll go 21-17. I don't expect a super high scoring game either. So.
I like 21-17 too. You were close today in your prediction from last week until that last drive from the Broncos. They put up 19. I think you picked like 23. I don't know what you picked, but you were close.
I don't remember.
You're like a point off. I looked it up at one point, and then they scored 2 touchdown drives.
I just know we're not scoring lots of points.
Yes. I like it. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you see a win with Geno Smith in? And give us your score predictions. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you like? What do you like? All right. Whew. Well, now that we got that out of the way,
The one bright spot of the weekend.
let's bring this energy level down for our West Virginia fans. Guys, I don't know. As West Virginia fans, we've come to expect this a little bit, but it still hurts. Like, I think I predicted a loss, but my God, 45-20. Are you kidding me right now? What do you do? Where do you go from here? How do you climb your way out of it? I mean, you can't climb your way out of your hole this season, but if you're Neil Brown, we focus on him a lot lately. How do you climb out of your hole?
I don't know. It's becoming an interesting problem. What we got here. I think I saw something interesting. I think we've gone from trust the climb to stop the fall.
I don't think you can stop the fall. That's the problem.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of division amongst the fans on Neil Brown. He needs to stay longer. It's the team, or he needs to go. Neil Brown doesn't fit. I'm back and forth a little bit.
Me too.
One day I say, yeah, give him time. He's got a good recruiting class. He was left with absolutely nothing when Holgerson left. And then on the other hand, I look at the team, and when you look at the team right now, 3 years into it, he's had recruits come in. What do you see as the bright spot of this team for the future? Like, do you see a piece that you can build around on the future right now on this team that's going to be, the key piece going forward, or something that gives you any hope at the end of the tunnel? Or do you think you're literally every positive note I see for West Virginia is wait for the recruiting class next year? So are we going to start the clock year 4 with that recruiting class? So you're talking at least 2-3 years before these guys are, big time stars. So then you're 7 years into it, 6 years into it. I don't know. You're giving this guy rope, but.
And I saw someone post too on Twitter. I think West Virginia's past 5 coaches, their records in the same amount of time as Neil Brown. All of them have winning records. The only one that didn't was Rodriguez, had the same exact record of Neil Brown. But someone also pointed out he also improved each year. So he pointed out the team was really bad when he got there, and he was improving and went on to have some great seasons.
And that's a big thing right there, is the improvement.
Yeah, and we thought we were going to see that this year, but so far it looks worse than it has the previous 2 seasons.
Exactly. I agree with that.
I have a little rant too, because one thing I've pointed out was I like Neil Brown. I've questioned his coaching, but I like what he's doing behind the scenes. I like his program building. Well, I've heard and seen some concerning things the past 2 weeks. First off, in his press conference after the Texas Tech game, he came out and it sounded like he's blaming the players. He's saying, you guys aren't prepared. They weren't prepared. Everyone's not prepared. That's what he was saying. He was cussing. It sounded like he was putting a lot of the blame on the players. They came out this week And obviously they weren't prepared again. It's the coach's job. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, or Harry, you can too. I'm under the impression if your whole team's not prepared, that seems like a coaching issue. We're not talking about your quarterback coming unprepared or maybe your defense. We're talking about your entire team 2 games in a row plus coming out unprepared. That's a coaching issue.
I agree.
And first off, I don't like any coach that tries to throw your team under the bus publicly. You always take the blame. If you want to go in the locker room and blame everyone else, you do that. But in public, you're the captain of the ship. You can't go point the finger at everyone in public. So that's bad. Another interesting thing in the press conference, he said something because people were questioning his timeouts. And he said something about traditionally we use our timeouts defensively. Someone went and looked at his tenure. I think like 70% of his timeouts are used on offense in the first half or first quarter. So no, traditionally he doesn't. And he did it again this week. The opening drive of the game, first drive, he used a timeout on the first play. Again, and to speak on behind the scenes, Dreamus Smith, former West Virginia player, former NFL player, he posted on Facebook, now former West Virginia player, NFL player, he's a big guy, wide receiver, big West Virginia player, right? Dreamus Smith is one of the biggest ones. When you look at, I can't think of the word I want to think of. Anyways, he posted on Twitter, Neil Brown's got to go. Someone commented on it about he likes bringing back old players, alumni, stuff like that. Dreamus said a bunch of them came back for homecoming and they couldn't even get a shirt to wear on the sideline. They said they got to go buy a shirt. A lot of stuff going on in the building. So my respect for Neil Brown was behind the scenes, but it seems like it's chaos there too.
Yeah.
So that's what you had. You had recruiting and you had building a program, but it doesn't look like the culture you're building is any good. So what do you got now?
No, we're in shambles.
What do you got? And now to the field. Caden Prather, big recruit for West Virginia last year. 4-star recruit, 91 overall rated on 24/7 Sports. He had offers from Alabama. He had offers from Penn State. He's big time wide receiver, and he chose to come to West Virginia. He's barely seen any snaps. He finally started over Winston Wright this week in the first half. He got like 1 touch. Like, what are you doing? If we're waiting for these 4-star recruits, these recruiting classes, why aren't they seeing any time? Especially in a season that's lost. Now you have to get your guys ready for next year, right? Am I crazy?
I've seen that too. You know, the season's lost. You need to prepare guys. But at the same time, I feel like that's not fair to some of the seniors, you know, that put in all the time and all the years that you're just going to throw away their last year.
No, you definitely still got to play, and you still should try to win every game. So it's not a throwaway. So you want to play your best players, but you got to work them in more.
Yeah, you got to try something different. You can't just go in with the same stuff and just get beat down because. And
on that note, I read another interesting thing. Garrett Green and Jared Dagey have the same amount of touchdowns this year. What? What?
I don't think you have a QB on this team. I don't think either guy's the guy. One thing I'll give Neil Brown is the team doesn't have a lot of talent. The team isn't.
It's not, but, you know.
You don't have a QB that's going to be the guy right now.
Maybe Spencer Rattler will be your QB next year.
Maybe. Truthfully, I wouldn't even want him. I know some people would want him. But dude's attitude is just so shitty.
It is. He has a shitty. And I wasn't aware of this after the loss. I saw someone post a video of him in high school. Apparently, it's a video of him just calling his teammates garbage on camera and stuff like that and blaming them.
Well, I mean, after their win, he was one of the first guys to leave the field. He didn't even celebrate with his team.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, because of the whole NIL stuff, the guy, I think he got, 2 vehicles for the season. But, so at least he gets something. But, yeah, I think he's done in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out of here. And, yeah, I wouldn't want him either. That was a joke. I put my faith in Nico for now.
Yeah, I'd rather go there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my rant. So I guess let's look at this Baylor game. Among everything, what went wrong for you the most?
I mean, I brought it up last week on the episode.
You did.
And I said,
Harry said it first, guys.
This defense is a little overrated to me. And, they didn't play. And this time they just didn't play it at all this game.
Harry was the first to say it. He said it last week. If you guys didn't watch the show, go watch episode 29, last week's show. You go down in the comments. Section is tagged. I think there's a section called West Virginia's defense. Harry had a rant. He said they're overrated. He didn't think they're as good as everyone's hyping them up to be. And they came out against Baylor and looked like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people were feeling good because we had some competitive games. And I felt like when we played an offense that was good, like I said, if we would have played Oklahoma with this Caleb Williams, it would have been different.
Yeah.
And now I said, I was speaking with a friend, but I think Baylor, I think Iowa State, I think Texas and Oklahoma State are going to be games where we lose by more than 2 scores because I don't see the defense holding these guys.
Texas may put up 80 points on us.
Texas will score.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a mess that first half. They looked a little better in the second half, but I don't even know how you said. The only thing I can single out, the wide receivers look good again. They've been so solid this year, and it's so disappointing to see everyone else on the team let them down.
I think the receivers have been good.
They've been really good.
I think you have issues with the line, and I think the QB on offense.
Yeah.
I was kind of critical on the receivers earlier in the year about not having a deep threat, but I think the receivers have played well.
They have. They've been the one bright spot on this team.
Yeah.
I was just looking at TCU's schedule. Oh my goodness. We're going to lose next week. 2 weeks. Anyways, yeah, the Baylor game was a whole mess. I mean, no one looked good. The defense looked like Swiss cheese. Daggy was Daggy. I felt like Neil Brown didn't come with it. I mean, the quarterback switching isn't even good anymore. Like the first few games, I felt like there was some creativity behind it. But now he'll put like Garrett Green in for one play in a drive and then pull him out. And then it just messes up the flow of the offense. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, the whole game was a mess. I don't know. I thought we were going to lose to Baylor. I think we both called that a loss, but I didn't think 45-20. Yeah. So
I did after the Texas Tech game.
Yeah. Do what?
I said after the Texas Tech game, I did.
You thought 45-20?
I thought we were getting beat by multiple scores. I was not surprised at all about the score.
I think I said maybe 2 scores I think that's what I called.
And honestly, I quit watching in the second half.
Yeah. So we got a bye week. And then we got TCU. TCU just smashed Texas Tech, who beat the crap out of us. They beat Texas Tech 52-31. They lost to Texas, but that was actually a close game, 32-27, and Texas has been destroying everybody. I think TCU is probably going to beat us.
Yeah. I would not be surprised.
And then you got Iowa State, and then you got Oklahoma State. And if I'm being honest with myself, I think Kansas, West Virginia is going to be a battle. I mean, I'm honest. I am being honest. I don't think that's a game you can look at anymore and say that's a win.
I think
you could win that game, but I don't think it's by any means. You should look at it and say, "Oh yeah, that's a win."
I would say it's a win, but I feel like the chance for an upset is a lot higher than it was prior to the season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you don't come to play, you're going to lose that game. I think for this TCU game, if you have any hopes whatsoever of making a bowl, you have to win this game. If you lose this game, 100% you're not making a bowl. 100%.
Yeah.
I think to make a bowl, you're sitting at 2 wins right now. You have to beat TCU, you have to beat Kansas State, you have to beat Kansas, and you have to upset Iowa State, Oklahoma State, or Texas. One of those three.
I don't think this team has an upset build in them.
I don't feel confident about that, but I think you have zero chance. If you lose this game, you're not going to get 4 wins in the next 5 games after that.
I got a question for you, Harry. We've said Neil Brown is safe this season. His recruiting class, blah, blah, blah. If West Virginia drops every game the rest of this season, is he gone?
No, but I think his seat's warm.
I think he's gone.
No, I don't think he's gone.
If in your third year you drop you go 2 and whatever, and you lose to Kansas and you drop these you don't think he's gone?
I think that recruiting class got him another year, and he can just say, "Oh, look at what I have on this team. I have no QB."
Question, and this is only half a joke. There may be a certain NFL coach in Florida that may not have a job soon.
He's not coming here.
Now, before you say that, Nick Saban, those college bars in West Virginia are wild. If you enjoy Ohio, you haven't seen nothing yet. I'm just telling you, come down our way. I will personally take you to the hot spots on High Street. You will never want to leave.
He'll go back to doing the TV gig, or if he goes to any university, it would be USC.
I don't know if he could get hired on TV after all the controversy.
I don't know. He did. He was on Fox for a while, ESPN. I don't know. It would be USC. It'd be a bigger university that can pay him a lot of money. It's not West Virginia. He's not doing that. Look at where he's been. He's what I think he started at Utah. That was a building. He had a good team there, but everywhere else, he went to Florida after that, loaded with talent. Ohio State, loaded with talent. Then he did the TV thing for a while. He's not going backwards. West Virginia is not a job where you're recruiting 4 or 5-star guys.
Girls like their jeans in West Virginia. Get those fingers working, buddy.
He's not coming here. It'd be USC would be the only place I could see him going to. Okay. If he goes to college. Otherwise, I think he was having health issues, and that's why he stopped with Ohio State. But the NFL thing was too good to pass up, so he gave it a chance. So he's not coming here.
That's fair.
He's not. We got too many issues. This is a tough place. And as far as Neil Brown, I think his recruiting class bought him another year. I don't think anything's going to get him out. He would have to do something.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think if they drop these last few games and they can't pull out a win, I think he's gone.
I think he's in the hot seat, and I think he would be at the very end of his leash next year if the season starts off bad or he has a bad year.
The trouble is, too, though, you got to think if West Virginia drops these last few games, how many of these recruits are going to come here?
And that's an issue. You
already have people current players entering the transfer portal. I think you had a defensive lineman and someone else this week. I brought up Caden Prather during the show. If he doesn't see time, he's a 4-star recruit. He had offers from Alabama and Penn State. Do you see him staying? I feel like Nico is at least coming. I don't think he'll transfer before the season. But, hey, some of these 4-star wide receivers, I don't know. I don't know if West Virginia loses all these games, if they'll come.
Also, I think if you see 1 or 2 of those guys do that, it's going to start a chain effect.
Landslide, exactly.
And I think you're going to have a lot of them leave, and including Nico. If Nico starts seeing all these guys that were really good, supposed to come to West Virginia, and they're all leaving, he's going to want to come to a team that finishes 3-9 this year, 4-8.
Yeah.
And next year, who do we have next year that's going to be? I don't. Next year might be a similar situation.
We're going to have a lot of freshmen that are going to have to get the job done.
Yeah.
Because there's no one else. I mean, defense, we got a lot of good sophomores that have been solid. Well, like you said, not super solid, but we got a lot of sophomores on the team. So they'll be there. They're developing and getting better. But on offense, boy, it's going to have to be the year of freshmen.
I don't see it. I mean, Winston Wright, he's a junior though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got one more year. I don't see a star for the future right now on this team.
Mm-mm. Sad.
Sam James and Winston Wright, they got one more year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Defense, you got some decent players, but I don't see your best players are older, about done.
Yeah.
Offense,
Well,
I don't.
Again,
Letty Brown's
I've
done.
heard from a lot of people Caden Prather's a baller. We haven't got to see him much yet. Plus, we have I think we got a 4-star wide receiver coming next year, a 4-star running back. Players are going to be there. Now, will Neil Brown actually play them? I don't know.
When you still got the issue with the line.
Do what?
You got the issue with the line.
You got a big line issue. I mean, there's issues. I don't know.
The difference between the best teams in college football and the rest of the teams is they recruit really well on the defensive line, the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that, it's going to hurt you. So I don't see the line as a strong point.
Yeah.
I can't say that it's because they're young. I can't say they just get beat week in and week out.
Yeah. The future is bleak.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can look forward to and be positive about is we got a bunch of recruits and we can see what happens there.
Yeah. Neil Brown's got to earn my trust back, though. I even with the recruits, with him behind doing the play calling, I don't know. I don't know.
The only saving factor I would say for Neil Brown is the fact that we don't have a QB. We don't have a line. He can't really run the kind of offense that he wants.
An interesting thing, too, you say we don't have a QB. Garrett Green followed him from Troy. So he was recruited by Neil, and then he followed him to West Virginia. I could see him transferring this season.
Well, the way everything's been handled, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I mean, he's not getting the time. It seems like he's not getting a chance. And then you got Nico coming next year. If I was him, I'm out.
If Nico comes and shows up and is the starter, Garrett Green will be gone next year.
Plus, Daigie's eligible for another year next year. God forbid we go through that again. I don't know, man.
Oh, we're going to have to wait and see.
We got off track here. TCU, do you think that I'm calling a loss? I don't know. The way they handled Texas Tech, I don't see that as a win.
I'm going to say 34-21. TCU. On the road.
I like that. I don't want to be the same as you, so I'll call 30-17, but very close.
Either.
Yeah.
I don't have much faith in the team. I think TCU is a little better than we are.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like Harry said, I think you stop the fall at this point. How do you stop the fall?
Trust the climb to stop the fall.
Yep. Give us your predictions for TCU if you dare. A couple of you in the comments, man, you've been very positive to these games. I wish I had your positivity, but if you're predicting a win this game, let us know. Alabama lost. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was a tough game.
And they dropped to 5 in the rankings. I think that's some bullshit. I don't know.
That was a tough environment. Yeah. Night game on the road, full stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If they win out, they're in the playoffs. It won't matter. Georgia number 1 now? Probably. If they beat Georgia in the SEC championship, they're still in the playoffs.
The big news of the week, I completely forgot to talk about this. I was going to talk about at the top of the show. Guys, our own Harry Baxter. On Madden, he beat the 16th ranked player in the world. Right after, last week he beat the 41th ranked player. This guy's balling over here. Can we get you calling the offense for West Virginia, maybe?
Something positive.
What's your favorite play to run? What offensive scheme do you run, Harry?
We'll see.
Drop your PSN below if you want to play Harry. Apparently, he's nasty.
We're going to be a video game channel.
I mean, at
Football
this point,
season's been rough.
Harry's very modest. He always says he's not good. So drop your PSN below. Harry will play you if you drop it. We'll see. We'll see how good he is. You guys let us know. We got some hockey news too. I mean, we're 3 days away from hockey season already, which is crazy because I feel like it just ended As far as the Penguins go, we had Malkin and Crosby out, which was a big problem to start this season, but I've been hearing it's possible Crosby starts the first game of the season. How about that?
He returned to practice recently.
He practiced first time the other day. He's probably making the trip to Florida with the team. I would think he's still a few weeks out, but I've heard it's a possibility he starts first game. I think I would prefer him not, just because a wrist injury is tricky. You want to make sure that's fully healed. You don't want to go in there too early and mess up your season. Penguins are pretty good at surviving in these situations, so I would trust them a little bit. I wouldn't feel like he has to rush back.
It's such a long season.
It is. I mean, hockey's one of the, 84 games this season. Give it some time. If you got to take an extra week or two, don't rush it in. Wrist is so tricky. Yeah. And that can really mess up. If you hurt it again or aggravate it, it could ruin your season. Better get healthy before you get in there. But we're going to talk more about Penguins. I'm going to have a Penguin show coming up this week. Just me. Since Harry doesn't like to talk hockey. I'm going to make him once the season starts. But this week, I think Friday, I'm going to come with a season preview. Comment below if you want Harry on that show. If we get no comments, I'll do it by myself. 2 comments, and Harry will do the show.
2 comments.
Set the bar low. But we're going to have a season preview. We're going to talk about what I think about the Penguins. I think their defense is concerning. Spoiler alert. Goaltending, I don't know. Offense, they got some potential. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, guys. And this is our 30th show. Thank you for watching for 30 episodes.
Did we get any viewer questions?
We do have viewer questions this week. I almost forgot. Harry.
Just slipping a day.
Harry with the save. I am
over
slipping.
Yesterday.
Viewer question number 1. Guys, if you don't know, we do viewer questions on Instagram and Twitter. So if you just subscribe on YouTube you can drop questions in the comments too with the hashtag viewer questions, or you could go to H&J Talk Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on there, and you can answer our viewer questions every week where we take questions from you guys to answer on the show. First question from Kieran the Ginger. Like he's the ginger, I think. Meaning redhead, maybe? Let us know. That's a cool name. His question is, should the Steelers look at QBs in the draft or stick with Haskins and Rudolph? Harry, you're up.
Man, I was just thinking about this today. I think this is one of the weaker QB classes I've seen in a while. Mm-hmm. This coming up draft, which sucks because we're probably going to have a high pick. I wouldn't take a QB, and I think we need a QB. And if it was any kind of decent class, I would take a QB, but I don't see one right now. This reminds me of the year. I really don't want to say this because I know we have a lot of WV fans, but the year DeGino was one of the top picks. That was one of the weaker classes.
Yeah.
Too. And this year gives me a feeling like that. I don't see it, which is unfortunate because we're going to have a high pick.
I agree with you. I think neither of those is the answer. I don't think they draft the answers in the draft this year, and I don't think Haskins or Rudolph is the answer. I think they go with a veteran. I think next year you're going to have some veterans on the move. You got Russell Wilson, who says he doesn't want to return to the Seahawks. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's not going back to Green Bay, who's already flirting with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organization. You have Deshaun Watson, who is not going to be back in Texas. I mean, you have a lot of big-time QBs on the move. Geno Smith could be the next QB of the Seahawks. Could be. Harry's shaking his head no. Harry's not on the Geno Smith bandwagon. Harry, we have a lot of West Virginia fans. You might want to chill out. Anyways, I think the answer could be in free agency, at least to buy you time. You sign someone like Rodgers, which I thought was a long shot, but I don't know. You have a lot of cap space next year. He seems to be flirting with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organization, and he's not going to be back in Green Bay. You have Russell Wilson on the move. You have Deshaun Watson in limbo. May have a few other guys on the move. You get a guy in free agency, buy you another 2-3 years, and then you find a guy in the draft. That's what I think.
I agree. You're not going to get.
Tomlin also said, I think someone asked him a question about, and he said he doesn't want to start a rookie QB next year. So for whatever that's worth, there's something else. And we have one more question. I hope you liked our answers to that one, by the way. Our next question is from Haggins Colt 10, Haggins_Colt 10 on Instagram. He said, "What's your opinion on the Pens? I know they will be pretty good, but what is your opinion?" I'll handle this, Harry. Relax.
It's all you.
Watch Friday's season preview. I'm going to go in depth on this. My opinion is I'm worried. I think they got great young stars on offense. I like Kapanen. Guys like Gensel and Rust are going to have a chance to step up without Malkin in the lineup. Maybe missing some Crosby. They've been guys that have put up a lot of points, but can they do it by themselves? We haven't seen that yet. They need to do it without Crosby and Malkin. Defense, I'm worried. I don't think it's not as deep as last year. CC, who a lot of people laughed at when the Penguins got him, was one of our better defensemen. He's gone. So now your third pairing is like Ruido or Friedman, or I don't know. I don't like the fourth pair. Pedersen is on your second line. He struggled the past 2 seasons. I don't know if I trust him. You got Marino, who's been up and down. He was a little better towards the end of the year. I'm worried. And then you got the goaltenders that you haven't addressed. You guys still got Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. So I think they make the playoffs. I don't see them missing the playoffs, but I'm not confident enough to say I think this team will be pretty good this year. That's what I think. But watch Friday's Penguin season preview. We'll break that down in more depth. And those are our viewer questions this week. Don't send me memes when we're doing the show. Jesus Christ. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Thank you for your questions. Hey, if you want to put questions for us on next show, hashtag viewer questions in the comments, or go follow us on Twitter and Instagram, H&J Talk Sports. You can leave us your questions over there. What do you think, Harry? What's the word? What's the final word for our 30th episode? This is a big moment, everybody. Harry's going to give us the final word for the week. Words of wisdom.
Man, I hate football season right now. I hate football season.
Ain't that the truth? Every year I get so excited. Then by week 4, I'm like, I'm out.
Halfway through the season, and
yep,
it's very dark looking right now.
Harry's words of wisdom. I think we'll end each show that way.
Yeah.
I like it.
Big game against the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, if you have any chance in the season for the Steelers to have a decent year, you got to win this game. It's a very winnable game. You lose this, you're back to bottom team.
And I swear to God, if we have an entire bye week to prepare and we come out and call a timeout on the first drive in West Virginia's next game, I'm pulling Neil Brown out of Morgantown myself. I don't know how. I don't know, what I'm going to do to get him out of there, but I'm taking him and I'm snatching him out of Morgantown.
Yeah, we may have to start talking about other teams.
You have 2 weeks here. This could be in Alabama. No, I would never talk about Alabama. I don't care.
I like Alabama. Oh, well.
No, I was born to suffer. Let's go, guys. Thanks for watching the show, by the way. If you haven't subscribed, go hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you subscribe already. Thanks for watching once again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you.